Hello, folks. It's the guy with the bow tie checking with you live on another edition of Business with Benefits. To my right, you have the wonderful Miss Bonnie Sussman-Strominger. Now, did I say your last name right? I never asked you that.
Are you saying my name right?
Is it Strominger?
Strominger.
Perfect. Okay. What is
You're
that?
a good company. Nobody says my name right ever.
What is it? German or?
It's not. No, but people say Strominger. I mean, I have stood at an airport counter where they have repeated my name 5 times, and I'm like, that's still not how you say
it. Well, I'm glad I got it right, and thank you for joining me today. I know we're kind of under odd times right now. I'm fixing the comments real quick here. So you're in New York. I'm in Georgia. Georgia's not in the lockdown, but I know New York recently went into lockdown. So just for those that aren't there, kind of share what the environment's like for you right now.
It is creepy.
Okay.
A bit creepy. I'm not going to lie. I mean, it's, when you're a New Yorker, you go outside and there are tons of people whizzing by you. I mean, it's a rainy day here, so that automatically removes a lot of people off the street. But the overall tone is not great. I mean, the most people you see are in the markets, hoarding as much as they possibly can.
Yeah.
My husband and I have gone in 3 or 4 times already, and it's like an ongoing effort. We just keep getting as much as we can get and bring it back. But, you have the lady at the counter she's buying 40 cans of tuna fish, wiping out the shelf. And I'm just thinking, come on. I think that the market should be putting some parameters around how much you buy.
I totally agree.
Leave enough for everybody. You don't need 40 cans of tuna fish. I mean,
unless you got a Boy Scout troop or something, maybe.
Yeah. So, it's tough. The restaurants, obviously, we know the situation there. They're open. There's delivery. There's takeout. There's options, but obviously, traffic is down. That's a severe situation with restaurants.
Well, speaking of restaurants, we had you and us friend Randall Constant jump in, said hello from New Orleans.
Hi, Randall.
He said Calvin said hi.
Hi, Calvin.
And then we have Catherine Palsinelli. She said, no one says my name correctly but you. So I hope I said it right 2 times now, Catherine, because I normally don't get that. But let's talk about the food industry. So obviously you've innovated a lot in the food space. So real quick for Team Replay that's watching this and kind of figuring out why should we listen to this further, tell us a little bit about Go Lives and the innovation you've gone through the company, because I love the product. Sherry Jones introduced me to it a while ago.
Thank
you. Share for the audience.
Share for putting us together.
Yeah, Sherry's in Canada. Started this whole thing from Canada.
Yeah. Yep.
So share a little bit about your company and what you guys do for those that aren't familiar with the great videos you make.
So we've basically innovated on a standard lid. So a standard food service lid, souvenir cup lid, and we've turned it into a convenience vehicle that now clips on top of standard food service cups, souvenir cups, and I have one here just to obviously the best way is the visual.
Yep, absolutely.
I grabbed this iced coffee today. I'm a big fan of Dunkin'. Everybody knows that, and Starbucks. Not playing favorites. And the lid, it clips onto the top, but it's super sturdy. And then you have food on top. You got your beverage in the back. There's no interaction between the beverage and the food. Today I'm doing the healthy thing. I got red grapes, a little muffin, and even a protein bar.
There you go.
But having said that, I will say right now, I think everyone indulging a little to feed the soul and good. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with treating yourself a little bit in a moment like this.
And we had some New Yorker comments. Catherine said, good to hear from a fellow New Yorker. She said, do you take the subway?
I am not a huge subway taker to begin with.
Okay.
Of course, I do take the subway, but I have not taken the subway since all of this. No.
Yeah, definitely. It's not the place to be. Are they still open? I would figure they shut them down.
The subways are still running.
Okay.
They are going on there and sanitizing the handles and the bars and the doors and whatnot. But it's obviously it's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
In there, and my husband takes the subway, but he's been walking.
Yeah.
And you have to think of every little thing now, even getting in a New York City taxi or an Uber.
Yep.
You're still touching handles and sitting down and inadvertently touching things and then touching your face in a way that you don't even think about it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
to keep it happy, I don't want to dwell on this too much. The news is already doing a good job talking about all the bad things.
Yeah, and we've been with our content, we've been, steering clear of making it too. There's so much out there, and I think the more we see, the more the people just get scared and nervous and uncertain. And there is a lot of uncertainty. The jobs, it's really, for me right now, it's people.
Yeah.
In their jobs, and companies are wondering how they're going to stay afloat and keep their talent and keep people feeling good every day with their families and their children. And it's a lot to handle. A lot.
Yeah. I'll plug in one thing for that real quick. For those that haven't followed the Families First Coronavirus Response Act, that's a way to kind of bridge the gap for taking care of your staff till the government pays you back for the loan, because people will get an SBA loan to pay the payroll for the 2 weeks, and it's 2 weeks now, it could be longer, but you get the loan from the SBA to pay the payroll, and then the government pays you back about 3 months later. So for those that haven't looked that up, just Google Small Business Administration or Family First Coronavirus Response Act to see what to do. And Randall said your cups are perfect for Mardi Gras. I cannot agree more. I think Mardi Gras is a perfect place for your lid.
and Randall loves Mardi Gras.
Yes, if you guys haven't seen Randall on live, check him out.
Anything New Orleans, Randall loves. Food and beverage, New Orleans, Mardi Gras.
So Randall, I'm sure you're an LSU fan. I'm a big LSU fan, so go Tigers. So anybody else like LSU, throw us some emojis or something in the comments below. So speaking of, events and things like that, so how did Gold Lid start? Because I've seen the videos, I love them, but how did Gold Lid come to be what it is? How did you create that product?
We thought of it last week, and we worked hard through the night, and we put it right out. Now, it started back in 12, so it's what everyone says it is. It's a long road of perseverance, and we've had failure along the way and all of that. But I'll give you a little slice of the story because it's really the most interesting part. And I always tell people when they say, I want to think of an idea, or how do I hatch an idea? What can I do? I always say, look around in your own lifestyle and your own day. Look around. Look at the things that disrupt your day. Look at the things that are uncomfortable for you. There's a nugget in there somewhere of something that could be improved, fixed, bettered, enhanced, changed, whatever it is. I was in a theater back in the 90s, dating myself. Sorry.
Hey, it's okay.
I was in a theater. I was on a really bad date. And I went to the counter with this, I'm not going to call him a gentleman. I'm just going to call him a guy. Yeah. And we got popcorn and soda and hot dogs and all the whole thing. And he gave everything to me to carry.
Oh.
For the life of me, I couldn't understand, well, why. But even worse was, why was I actually carrying it? So young and stupid is the only thing that I could think of. Young and stupid. But I took it all, and I was we were walking through the hallway to get into the theater, and he kept saying, follow me. I thought maybe he had special seats. He didn't have any seats. We got inside, and the center of the aisle where nobody wants to sit because you can't get in and you can't get out.
Oh, God.
There's always like a giant man sitting in the row
with
knees. You got to climb over him. I tripped. I went over, and explosion. So, we're talking 2 buckets of popcorn, a tray, drinks, hot dogs. I mean, I landed on the ground. I actually hurt myself. Of course, there was some crying quietly going on in my chair as I just sat there in amazement. But mostly I sat there thinking how outdated this was.
Right.
And how uncomfortably outdated food and beverage in that manner was being handled. I left the theater and I moved on with my life. I graduated college. I moved back to New York. This was in Arizona, by the way, where this took place. Okay. And I moved on. I named the product. I drew it. I had no idea what I had drawn. I didn't even know it was going to be the lid. I just knew that I thought those things should be connected.
Combined. Yeah.
And connected, which we'll talk about in a second, because obviously this is a big topic. Suddenly, even though we've been showing it for a long time, suddenly this cover is noticed in a whole different manner now.
Oh, absolutely.
And that was really it. Fast forward to 2000. In the 90s, when I was in college, nobody had one of these. No one had a phone.
Yeah. Yep.
So I thought to myself, it was a nice to have, but it wasn't a must have. And I didn't think it was really solving a problem. I just thought it was solving an inconvenience.
Yeah.
And when this came out, and then now 2008, everyone has the smartphone.
Yep.
And then I started noticing that we're actually doing more business on this phone than we're doing from the laptop. I mean, I'm attached to it. We all are. And by generation, millennials, Gen Z, they don't put this thing down.
Right.
We have a 15-year-old. She doesn't even watch TV.
Yeah.
And won't watch a brand's commercial. She will get up, leave the room, or just tune it out altogether.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So about the brand, the perspective from the brand, how they're going to capture this person's attention, that audience. Long story short, in 2012, really 11, that's when I started. That's when I started looking around and saying that now we're down a hand, not including lifestyles got busier, more hectic, more lugging, more on the go. And I started noticing, just by my own circumstances, that people were tumbling and fumbling and falling into salad traps in the road in New York City. Well, and that almost happened to me once. We're not even going to talk about that. Let's not talk about that.
Right.
And I started to notice a real need. And then once I started studying the brands and analytics and data and how many people leave with food and beverage on a regular basis, how many people only leave with food or beverage. I'm not going to bore you with food and beverage speak. I could get very technical right now, but I'm not going to, because it's not exciting. And we started prototyping. I made the first prototypes in my kitchen.
Okay.
So anyone out there, I want to say this. If there's an idea, if you have something that you want to do and you're not an engineer and you just have no idea how it's going to work, that's the best thing to do. Go in your kitchen, look around, if it's that kind of a product, but going wherever, look around your house. Find the tools, cut, sew, hammer, paste, glue, whatever you have. It doesn't have to be anything real life. It's just enough to go to the patent attorney.
Yep.
At the table and say, I think I've done something here, and that's what I did. And what I made, I still have them. And one of these days I'll have the nerve to put those insane creations up on LinkedIn in a picture, wrapped up with electrical tape. Things were falling out.
Yeah.
They looked crazy. I don't even know what I had created, but I knew something was there. And as we started prototyping and moving, and that's how we got going. And it's a lengthy process of finding a manufacturer and prototyping and working. And as simplistic as this is, and it is, the concept is simplistic, but the engineering of it is intense. And you don't really know how intense that gets until you start doing it.
Well, I think anybody can do complex. I mean, it's good that you took something simple, because people get paid for simple. They don't get paid for complex. So I think it's great that you took a simple product and got it to market. And to check in with people real quick, Catherine said you can take your cup on the subway now. Since it has the lid on there, you can actually take it on the subway. Nobody sneezing on your food. Randall said we definitely need to support takeout. You and I were talking about that with the takeout thing. So right now, food and beverage is kind of hurting a little bit.
Can you see my banner?
Yeah, the banner behind her, guys, is what we need to do. So it says, please help support our restaurants. Drive-in. I can't see the green part, the yellow light. Oh, delivery, takeout.
There. It says, please help support our restaurants. And then it says drive-through, delivery, takeout. And then on the bottom, tip big. Tip big. Guys, these workers, they are putting themselves in the line of fire. I think we don't take it for granted because we're so used to anything we want showing up at our convenience, at our leisure, and you really don't think about it. I mean, yes, we all tip, but I think right now, these guys, they're coming out and they are putting themselves at risk so that they can preserve their job and help the restaurant brands that they hopefully love and stand by. And so, the other thing I want to say is these third-party delivery services, Grubhub, Seamless, Postmates, Uber Eats, and the list goes on and on. They're great. No one says no. But right now, in this moment, I think what you can really do to help out would be to order directly from the restaurant. So if, let's say, you want Taco Bell, if you go into Google and you look up Taco Bell and you find one that's wherever in your area, and trust me right now, they'll go anywhere. It's not within 10 blocks we deliver. That used to be the case. Now they've got cars, they've got ways to go. They want the business. You call through a Grubhub or you call through delivery.com, and I know some of them are deferring commissions. Some of them are waiving commissions, a little confusing. If they're deferring, I don't know how helpful that is. You're just racking up a big bill that's going to be due in 3 or 4 months from now. I don't know if that's helpful. If they're waiving, I think they should be waiving. That's my stance. Without all these brands, without all these restaurants, there would be no Grubhub. They would have nothing to deliver. There would be no delivery.com and Postmates and all these companies. So I think that this is a perfect moment to give back. Say thank you for giving us our product. Their product is reliant on these brands thriving on a daily basis. And so now is the moment to give back and support them. And if you can call direct, I know it's easier. It's a lot easier. It always is to go on this phone and then punch it up and boom, there you go. Taco Bell's at your door. The big chalupa shows up in your throat. But, your chalupa's at the door. You have a glass of wine and you just feel like, everything's perfect. But I think if we can go the extra mile right now by direct and tipping a little extra. And I know things are tight. Everyone's suffering, but a little extra. You don't have to go out and get it. And so it saves you time, and time is money. So
But I think that's innovation when you say that, some of these places, they wouldn't exist without having these restaurants. So I think the innovation for them can be giving back. That's something different. So, I mean, when you created your product, you probably seemed crazy at first when you first made it. Who was the first person you told GoLids to that's like, this is my idea? And how was that received?
Well, the funny thing is, back in the 90s, when I left that theater, I walked out and I named the product. I did not name it GoLids.
Okay.
That's like the 5th name. I named it some stupid soda name. It didn't even make sense. But all of college, it was a big joke. All my friends, everywhere we went, they're like, we could really use that right now. That would be really convenient. I mean, you need to make this thing. One of the first people that ever saw it, that probably, not probably, they did. They thought a couple screws were loose.
Right.
The law firm I went to. I sat down with a group of them, well-known firm out of New York, pretty big. And they're like, what? What are you showing? What is this? The cup fell over, M&Ms are rolling down the table. Like, what exactly are you asking us to do here today? What are you trying to achieve? And they said, can you describe exactly how this works? Because obviously you can't get a utility patent of any kind if you can't explain the functionality and what makes that utility so unique.
Right.
At the time, truthfully, I didn't really have all my ducks in a row. I could explain it to myself, but that's not really good enough. You can explain it to yourself and you can't explain it to anybody else. So, it evolved over time. So they're one of the first people. Obviously, my husband. Shout out to my amazing husband, because I have to tell you, wouldn't be sitting here without him.
Oh, especially making up a new product. That's got to be hard.
The most supportive. It is not easy living with a obsessed founder and CEO of company. Entrepreneurship and relationships.
They're hard to match together.
It is not. You really need a certain kind of person that stands by you and totally supports you. And I don't think you could get through this process unless you have that.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so many highs and there's so many lows. And
Yep.
so unless you've got that support standing next to you, we've had some, from GoLid's perspective, yeah, we've had some failures.
Mm-hmm.
I posted about them. I think in the beginning with LinkedIn, it's become very okay to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And that's how it should be, really.
Absolutely.
If you want to be real and honest, it's not all roses. Not every day is just, I've never been in a greater mood. Life is grand. We're on top of the world. That's just all a bunch of, not true.
Yeah.
So we've slowly started to realize that it's okay to say that in 2015, we got flattened out under the street sweeper in New York City. And they just ran right over us.
Mm-hmm.
We were this thin and had to figure out how to come back to life. But
Mm-hmm.
all those moments combined that make it okay to learn and accept the fact that you didn't know everything or you weren't ready.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a disaster. But right now, I wouldn't change it for the world.
Awesome. I love that it all comes to full circle after all the hard work. And Chuck Jenkins said amazing lids. He gave you a shout out for amazing lids.
Thank you.
Someone, I'm not going to butcher their name, is Demetrio Glue, said necessity or accident is the mother of innovation and invention. So is that for you? I mean, it's Women's History Month. I wanted to make sure. I feel like Corona's stealing the thunder, but this is Women's History Month. So for you, was innovation something that was innately like a thing for you, or that was like your one, lightning bolt moment that you caught in the bottle?
It definitely was one of the moments, but I will tell you that my whole life, I mean, I'm all things creative.
Okay.
I'm not good at all things, so I have an interest in all things creative. I sing. I mean, you name it, creatively, I'm into it.
Okay.
Again, I cook. Not everything is top notch. I do a lot of little things. But I'm one of those people that always had a book next to my bed.
Mm-hmm.
So you can imagine a lot of people watching this right now are not going to be surprised to hear or already know that I don't sleep all that well.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of hard, when your mind is constantly going
Mm-hmm.
with what's coming, what's next, how do we prepare, how do we handle, what do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Now more than ever. I mean, if sleep was ever hard before, now it's incredibly hard. My brain has a very difficult time shutting down. But I have a book this thick, full of ideas.
Awesome.
I have to get them out to people in charge and say, you take this and you take that. I mean, I'm just one of those people who's always thinking, and it's all out of my own needs.
Mm-hmm.
Everything I've experienced, from friendship to marriage to life to just daily life to walking out of the house to walking into your local Starbucks to you name it. The list is endless. So I think I was destined to always innovate and be an entrepreneur. It's something I always wanted to do. I was in corporate world for 20 years.
Okay.
So it was a huge leap and a massive risk to step out of that. I was in two different industries. One was fashion and the other was real estate. And thriving in both. There was no technical reason why I was leaving the business, except that I was ready to move on and start this venture. Some days I wish we sold potato chips.
But that's an entrepreneur's life, is that unknown. I forgot what I was listening to. I think it was a Asian efficiency podcast or something, was talking about the real entrepreneur word meant you were kind of you lost it. Like you wasn't regular if you were an entrepreneur. So now we kind of say, oh, you open up a Starbucks, you're an entrepreneur. You open up a dog grooming place, you're an entrepreneur. And technically, yes, but the real word is you're in uncharted territory, making up something that's never existed before. So I definitely could say you're an entrepreneur because what you do is definitely on a fringe of things never around. So we're looking at innovation now, working from home, kind of that people have to look at, hey, I can't be in the office. So what do you think is innovation for working from home right now, people that are not used to that?
For us, and I know you put a post out about this, the best thing you can do right now, it's really about staying connected.
Yeah.
Because you lose that connection with people, it's over. So staying connected, whether that's your employees, your colleagues, your teammates, customers, prospects, whoever, what we're doing right now, I think that this is the level of communication that's needed. The phone is subpar now. It really is. It's a subpar measure of communication. I don't think it's good enough because it's not going to, no one knows how long this is going to go on for. You need a magic ball for that. And so this is the best way. And if you're talking to a customer, people want to feel a connection, always. That's always been the case way before technology even existed, that in person. And none of us can do that right now. So, and we've been doing this a long time. There's Zoom, there's Skype, there's Microsoft Teams. There's a lot of different services that can bring you in and even add 8 more boxes.
Right.
People like the Brady Bunch. It's like, hey, Daryl. Hey, Randall, what's up over there? You can really bring people in and create a sense of community and a warmth around the group. Even from a team perspective, we've done that. 8-10 people on one screen. It gets a little confusing. Everyone's shouting at the same time. You don't know who to look at because you don't know who's looking over. But what is the alternative? So I say that now's the time to be as creative as possibly can be. Even the voice function. And shout out Cher Jones, because Cher and I love the voice function.
Cher Jones.
Randall and I go back and forth on voice all the time. I do it with a lot of people. Think about it. Why not use LinkedIn's voice feature instead of just punching up a note, which is terribly annoying sometimes.
You know what's funny about that? I send probably 20 to 30 voice messages a day, and I get so many people that are like, how do you play this? What is this? LinkedIn has voice messages? Like,
where do you hit the button?
Yes.
People will say to me, are you sending this from your laptop? Is this coming from your special smartphone? Is there a new feature? And I'm like, no, it's right there. It says there's a microphone.
I think it'll be growing in popularity though now, definitely, because text is cool, but you got to have that connection. And speaking of which, Randall said some people may not take your call, but you may reach them in a LinkedIn video. And I'll probably be guilty of that. For me, I do use the phone quite a bit, but I kind of get on shutdown mode when I'm in, business development. I'm on silent. I'm not taking any phone calls coming in unless I know who it is for the most part. So my LinkedIn inbox, you probably would get me because, oh, what's that? I would just open it just from sheer seeing someone sent you a video. That alone would get my attention. I'm like, okay, they took the time and effort because it does take more work. So do you think that's an innovation right now for people for LinkedIn?
As far as
just using more video and voice messaging than they used to.
I think, I'm definitely seeing more people step up. I think I've noticed some people doing video that don't ordinarily do it. I think Sarah Jones, her challenge was an awesome challenge. The introduce yourself kind of gave everybody a way she gave them a platform. And great challenge. I did a challenge too. I did a no makeup challenge.
I saw that was cool.
I got a lot of takers on that.
Well,
as I sit here with makeup on right now, but there was a message behind it, and we all know what that message was. But Cher's challenge was great because it gave people who aren't on here a way to feel okay. I speak to a ton of people on here, and I give my time away all the time. And I just put up the other day about that. I think that is one of the nicest things you can offer someone. It's not about the dollar. It's not about your minutes that you gave away. But if you can offer someone your knowledge, your wisdom, they're having a tough time. These types of things that you do are invaluable. And it's giving back in its own way. It might not be financial. It's time, which is often worth a lot more than that. And there are a lot of people that are, especially if they're not on here. I mean, you and I are always on. We're constantly posting. I do videos. We do the Gold's product videos. Yes, it is scary to walk around and start, but all you need is this.
Yep.
You don't need this. You don't need to set yourself up like you're Sony, with lighting, and don't make an investment. If you have a phone, and I'm pretty sure everybody has a phone, you just need to be comfortable doing this. And I think that is uncomfortable. When I first started doing it, honestly, I'm going to be dead honest here. I didn't really want to. I had a consultant. Luckily, he's a good friend of mine, so he wasn't on a retainer. He made a comment to me that I think is very valuable for a lot of people out there if they are building a brand, personal product, whichever. He said, you're going to have to get in front of the brand.
Yes.
And my initial reaction was, no, I don't think so.
Yeah.
I'll put the videos up of Go Lids, but I'm not doing video. And he said, no, you are. You're going to have to. It's a connection. That's another example of, it's not enough to just throw a product up.
Yeah.
Find out, forget the product. Who are you? What kind of person are you? What is your belief system? Who are you surrounded by? What are your thoughts on leadership? You can't just claim to be something and not kind of put it out there that that's who you are. And I think everybody has to do it. The more people that do it, I think the more that do it, LinkedIn, I don't know, can they handle the bandwidth?
That'll be the challenge, but I think it's good you combine both. I think you combine both very well, though, Bonnie, because you have your GoLid videos are awesome, where it just shows the testimonials from people in the community using the product. I love seeing the construction workers, the delivery guy, all that's just real application. But at the same time, you show you, which I was talking to a friend of mine, Tammy, I just tagged her on here. Tammy runs a organic laundry detergent company here in Georgia. And we first met. Okay, you've seen her, bro. So at first she's like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. That was a conversation we had. And I said, I think you need to. I would much rather support a person or brand at this point, because sometimes brands get convoluted. So at least I know. I mean, look at how Apple did it. Apple was pretty much Steve Jobs being live in the flesh in front of that teleprompter telling you how good Apple was. And we didn't know that was personal branding back then, but that's what it was.
Steve Jobs tapped into the heart of what people connect to.
Yep.
It was more than just, a phone, which, by the way, this is not Apple. This is Samsung. I'm an Android user.
Me too.
Woohoo! He tapped into that heart and soul effect. And at the end of the day, I think we all know that that's what does it. And it's just be yourself and show who you are. Then they want to learn more about your brand. But I think revealing that comes before push, sell. And it takes a little time to learn that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you think, I have a product and I'm just going to start plugging it every day. Plug. Here's my product. And it really doesn't work that way. It's not good enough.
Yep.
Because really, there's no context to who is this person?
Yep.
Who are the people that she works with? What does she believe in? Or, I keep saying she, but he or she. And so all you need is a phone. Test it out. I'm going to admit something right now that I'm pretty sure everybody knows, because you can tell. But I have never. This is my first video live streaming.
Woo!
I've never hit the native button. Ever. That's how terrified I am. Actually, I did it once. And I messed up. And I have said a few things in the middle I should not have said. I was terrified to let the button go. I'm like, oh my God. I was with two people and I had my finger on the button. And I said, what am I going to do? I can't put that out. What do we do? And thankfully, the guy with me was like, dummy, turn off your phone. Turn it off. It's going to go away. That's what I did.
It's okay. That fear, you just jump into it. I mean, I think it's okay at this point that I almost feel like prospect isn't it. I almost feel like the word prospect, I want to eliminate that kind of from my vocabulary, just because I feel like it dehumanizes sales a little bit. And I'm going to write an article probably soon about that. But Sherry Jones said yes with all the S's. Yes, all of those. And Randall says start with just the phone. That's it. Calvin has 2 years experience. Calvin has no fear at all. I got to look at who Calvin is now. He's talking about Calvin.
Calvin's awesome. Calvin's a rock star. Calvin is Randall's son. They have the most beautiful father-son relationship, and food and beverage seasoned veterans. Yeah, check out Randall's profile.
And I think that's what helps is knowing things like that. See, that makes me want to go look into it, because I was talking to my team about this. The social media sale isn't so much a sale. It's more like you build a relationship, and then if something comes up you can help with, great. If nothing ever comes up, that's fine. I have several thousand connections, and not all of them are. I'm going to try to pitch them something.
You have more than 7,000.
Several. I don't like the tooth the horn, but yes. But
you have a big following, Daryl.
I try, but it happened just by connecting. It wasn't like I pitched everybody. That's why now I feel like innovation will be, don't just connect and try to sell. You connect and let's just talk. You might be struggling in your business right now. You might not know if you'll be open next month. Who knows? But if I just come at you hot, like I got a product for you, that's going to definitely turn off a ton of people in the next 2 weeks, I think.
Now that you brought it up, so I have to say something.
Go for it.
Every day and night, my inbox is flooded. I have like 680 invitations right now in my inbox and waiting. And I go through them little by little, but it's not the full-time job I signed up for. I got other things to do, but I get pitches, and I think the new thing seems to be pitching in the invite.
Yep, I see that too. Yep.
That's not a good tactic
at all.
So if you're doing that, quit it. Saying, hi, Daryl, here's what I do. Nothing about what you do.
Yeah.
No saying, it's not good.
It's like, here's what I do. Let's connect. Like, no.
Right. Or let's connect, and in about 30 seconds, you're going to get the lifetime.
Don't get me started on those.
Because you don't even answer them. And it only, you have to do my whole thing. And I say this to our team. I say it to everyone. You got to do your homework.
Yep.
No matter what.
Mm-hmm.
When we go pitch a brand, when we sit down with a brand at the table, we know so much about them that sometimes they're like creeped out by it.
That's good sales.
I didn't know that.
I like when people do that, like, because me with the bow tie thing, if I get like a clothier, we'll say, hey, I saw your video about bow tie day or something like that. Like, thank you for doing homework, because in the day of information, we can find not anything, but you can find a lot of stuff about somebody pretty easily. So if you don't know coming into a meeting that Bonnie's in New York, you're like, where are you, Arizona? Like, no, you can clearly look at my profile and see him in New York. So I think we have to do that to support the customer now. The customer deserves that, I think. That you at least read about them. Yeah.
And there's a psychological element there. It's almost like, they say everybody likes to hear their own name.
Yep.
Everyone wants to hear their name. It makes them feel good.
Mm-hmm.
You take that psychology over to sit down with a customer, brand, whoever you're with, and you already know when they started, some of the troubles they're having, their success stories. Of course, you always want to focus on that. You know that, so you're not sitting blind in front of a customer making all kinds of statements that may or may not be true.
Right.
You don't have the answers. It's really the same as personal relationships, I think.
It's like dating. If you go on a bad date, you don't want the date that, hey, what's your name? Like, you want to know something like, and that's where I think social, these dating sites have helped, because they at least know you're into dogs, you're into this, you're into that. It helps. But Sherry said, whoop, whoop.
A stepping ground.
Sherry gave you a shout out. She said, whoop, whoop, go, Bonnie. Welcome to the whole new world. And she also said, I am so tired of the cold pitches.
Yes.
That's the innovation we need to have right now. Because
they're not even cold pitches. They are ice cold. They're frozen pops.
Yep.
They're frozen pitches in time. They're dead. They're not. There's not even a shot. I don't know one other executive that I've ever spoken to that is going to grab onto that.
Okay, so share that one more last time. I'm going to make an audiogram with this part right here. Say that one part one more time.
Which part?
I don't know one executive, that part.
Oh, I don't. I don't know one executive that's ever gotten a pitch like that, frozen cold, and picks up the phone and says, yes, let's do this. Never.
Thank you.
Never happened.
Because all these sales books are right. I think people kind of get locked up in these sales books and look for, where's the script? What's the pitch in the book? And they just mass produce it. Like the biggest one was predictable revenue. That created a cycle. Everybody had the same pitch they would use over and over because of that book. Great book, but you didn't get the context of what he was trying to say was make a system. Don't just copy and paste.
People say that when people are ready to do business with you, they're ready. So, yeah, I'm not saying you don't sell, but let me say this. Do you know how many brands contact us and they tell us, and they're fine telling us, that they've been watching for like 10 months? Just from watching your videos. We've seen this, we've seen that. Just weren't ready. We weren't ready to speak to you guys. And now we are. So there's a lot of silent lurkers.
Yep.
Silent lurkers. They're everywhere.
Yep.
They don't comment. They don't like. Yep. They might share internally, right? So someone might take your post in a private message and send it over to a group post of 12 executives. Yep. But you don't know about it.
Right.
No analytics on that. That'd be a cool thing for LinkedIn to deliver.
Actually, I'm having a friend of mine, Jeff Sheehan. He has an interview with LinkedIn. I don't know if it's today or tomorrow, but Jeff Sheehan, he has an interview with them to ask what did they need to improve. So I'll tag him real quick so you can kind of find his profile.
That's a cool. That's an analytic. You ever look at your analytics before and you see 150 views from one company?
I've seen several times with something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you say, "Wow, how many connections do I have at that company?"
Yep.
You click on it, and you're connected to 4 people. How did that happen?
Right.
Think about how it really happened. It happened because someone took it and internally shot it around, and that's how all the views are coming in. So if LinkedIn had a way to measure any of that, that'd be a cool analytic to see. But that's the thing. The other point about the view counts, people get hung up on it. We all do.
Yeah, that's vanity metrics, yeah.
When your video is rolling and it's going, and then all of a sudden at 9 o'clock at night, it says 200. From you put it up at 7, at 9, it says 2, 250, 300. Pretty decent. And then all of a sudden at 11, it still says 200.
Right.
It just
dies.
Someone shot it to death. In motion. It's been murdered. And you're like, who do I contact? What's happening?
What happened? Yeah.
It's just, it's frustrating, but you only need a few people to see it that are actually going to care about it. And so the other part is just, it makes us all feel fuzzy and good. We go to bed with that feeling like everyone really, it's like that commercial. They like me. They really like me. They
changed the algorithm recently. I was listening to Shay Roboto talk about the algorithm is less views now, so don't even look into it. But Cher had a quick comment real quick. She actually said the over automation makes us real connectors look even better. It's amazing how surprised people get when it's a real human on the DM. Yes, and I like sending voice messages to make sure you know it's a real person. She also said, I think I will respond to the next cold pitch and say, your pitch is dead to me. I like that.
I love that.
I actually challenge people and say, does this work? I'll message them back hey, thanks for connecting, but does this actually work?
Wait, she's onto something. LinkedIn. The automated responses, it could say, thanks, my pleasure. It's a setting.
Yep.
One of them should be what she just said. Your pitch is dead to me.
That should be automation. Because a lot of us, I've done so many of these now that a lot of guests are like, man, if people could stop pitching my inbox, I'd be so happy.
It's so much time to do it.
Yeah.
Or you get the pitch, but your name is wrong.
Yeah, I get that. My name gets misspelled with Siri and stuff all the time.
Hi, Allie. Congrats on GoLids. And I'm like, wow. There's another founder here.
Right.
I've never met her. I don't know who she is.
I wonder where her share account, how much share she has in the company.
Yeah. Does she have equity and I didn't even know about it?
Right.
So, yeah, it's not a good thing. I think ultimately it's what you said. I really think you're selling anything directly, you wind up selling because you wind up connecting with people and they want to know more. And then that leads them to your page. That's how they find that you're in healthcare. That's how they find that Cher is, you know, a podcast rock star, you know, consultants and to brands and people. And that's how they find out more.
Yep.
You know, I've been working on my
profile. Agree.
I think we all need to work on our profiles. We forget about that. You know, we forget to go back.
Yeah.
And, you know, we wrote XYZ 5 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I read mine the other day and I was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? So, and I started making changes, even my headline.
Yeah.
You know, even the headline, I was looking at it thinking, that is lousy. You know, Andy.
You're innovating your profile. That's good, though.
See Andy Foot's posts.
He's an Andy Foot?
Yeah. Shout out to Andy Foot. So he's always pointing out the best in profiles, you know, what he finds in terms of headline, summary, this and that. And it inspired me. I think a lot of people, we kind of forget about that.
Well, tag him on the replay so I could see that, because I definitely check that out. And
Andy
I think
okay.
I think your innovation of the episode is innovate your profile, update it, because some people have not been on LinkedIn a whole lot. So now we're in the content wars. We're gonna all be making content, so you need to revitalize your profile. But real quick,
innovate everything.
Randall said mention your new retail pack. So Randall has some inside stuff he wants you to share about your retail pack.
Okay, thanks, Randall. So obviously, you know, this is the food service side.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, you know, B2B.
Yeah.
But in doing this, we got so many requests for people that were like, I would like that in my home.
Mm-hmm.
For my family, for my kids, for a boat, the park, tailgating, anywhere to go. Or simply someone, that doesn't want to go in the morning and drop money at a location. They want to take the muffin that they have in their house. They got it, Kroger.
Yeah, made it themselves, whatever. Mm-hmm.
Wherever they have their own egg sandwich, and they want to put it in and make their own iced coffee, get in the car and go. So that's what we're doing with this. So these lids are all going to be compatible with party cups.
Red Solo cup. You got to have the Red Solo cup be compatible with it. You have
That's
to.
what it is.
I'm gonna think about that when I'm at a party and I see somebody with that. Like, I know the lady who made those.
Yeah. So now you have this vehicle. You fill it up the same way you do the others.
Awesome. I love it.
And you got your straw.
Look, I'm in Georgia. The South is a football area, so you know you got all the SEC people happy to see this.
Yeah, and you know what? I think, especially now in this climate that we're in, it is about. And granted, I've gotten some crazy messages from people asking if we just added the cover like last week. I'm like, no.
Been doing this for a minute now.
We've been talking about this for years, but sometimes everything resonates in its own way and its own life cycle. And right now it's resonating in a different way, obviously, because of the fear that's been instilled in us about this terrible pandemic. But it's a great thing to have in the house, whether there's a pandemic or not. And you got messy kids in the car.
Yep.
You got the little kids that they always want their own.
Yep.
You know, give me my own. That is mine. Mine.
Yep.
And it's a great item. So we're excited. We're going to be selling them in packs of 6.
Okay.
Maybe larger for companies like Costco and other places like that.
Mm-hmm.
A footnote on this, so for the plastic people out there, and I'm not talking about this plastic. I'm talking about this plastic.
I got you.
This is plastic too. This is a mask. This is real plastic. Hello. Goofy on live. We're goofing out online.
Hey, we gotta have fun with everything going on nowadays.
You don't have a good time. I always tell. I've put up videos before from our manufacturer. we go bananas sometimes. I mean, we're there, we're watching production. You start to lose your mind at some point. And so we'll put music on, and someone actually caught us doing some wacky dances, and I did not want to put them out on video, but I was convinced that that was the thing to do. And you know what? It was the thing to do. I put it out like a total idiot. I was swinging around, beeping sounds. There were people walking by me, like workers, and they were like,
"What's she doing?
What's wrong with this woman?" But yeah, you got to let loose sometimes. Definitely do. So back to the plastic people. So we're using 100% renewed materials. And it's not the same as virgin PET. There's a lot of confusion about plastic in general. It's a lot. But we only use renewed materials. We pay a premium to use renewed materials, which are post-consumer.
Okay.
So they've already been used. They've refurbished. They're FDA approved. They're food grade safe.
Okay.
So while this isn't going to be for the home, machine washable. So you can't put this in the dishwasher.
You said you can or you can't? You
can't, because you'll come out with a rinky dink.
Yeah, it'll melt out. Yeah.
Rinky dinks?
Yep. Well, no, I don't know I know the phrase rinky dink.
Yeah, you cook them in the oven, and they would come out all messed up, and that's what this would look like.
Okay.
They're so strong and sturdy. You hot water, you sanitize, you scrub, you clean them out, and you lay them flat to dry. And these won't break unless you put them on the ground and step on.
Okay, perfect. Well, whenever
you get disposed of, they're recyclable. So
when sports comes back, you'll be booming, because definitely with all the sports that stopped. So I'm looking forward to when it comes back. You'll definitely have a lot of people wanting to keep their food germ free.
We're definitely getting. Obviously, I'm not going to lie. We had some exciting things in the works that right now.
Just a temporary delay.
Yeah, it's not about canceled. It's just delayed.
Yep.
Until an unknown date. So, but got to keep positive attitude, and you talking about like innovation. I think in general right now, it's innovation of the mind. It's creativity. It's keeping yourself going. I think there's not a company out there right now that's not planning and preparing. First and foremost, it's getting through it.
Yep.
Getting through it with your people. Most important, the company, the health of the company, the health of your people.
Yep.
Next after that, in a close distant second, is preparation, planning for the future. How are we going to do things differently? How are we going to innovate? How are we going to be prepared the next time something happens, so that we are not caught off guard as much? I think everybody's doing that.
Yeah, it'll be a new world when it all changes. And Sherry made a quick comment that I'm so glad to hear about the plastic you use. You should do a video. Wait, you should do a did you know video. Okay, I read that wrong. You should do a did you know video about that.
We did.
Well, it's content worth repost it.
It didn't go very well. That was shot. Hey, here's a question. That was one of the ones that overnight, I was like, oh, look at this. It's doing pretty good. And then I woke up in the morning and I'm like, oh my God, my post has been murdered. In the middle of the night, someone killed my post. There's a human person that steps in like the third or fourth hour.
With a shotgun and says, no, this is done.
I don't like that.
You might just repurpose it. I mean, I think for me, I'm going to start repurposing stuff more like the image grab of something or a piece of audio. So it might even just be repurposed into a different format. And heck, even nowadays, text posts and documents are probably the best two producing things on LinkedIn.
I'm a huge fan of the repurposing content. It's not about repurposing because you don't feel like making new content. You can have new content and mix it with older content and create a new piece of material to put out. But the repurposing thing on LinkedIn, and this is not a new topic, everybody's talked about it, but you don't realize that no one is seeing, maybe 10% of your followers are seeing what you just put out. So
Yeah.
I don't know what network has that line. I think it was NBC. If you haven't seen it, it's new to you.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
You know, if you haven't seen it, it's new to you. It's true. You put things out, you think that everyone's going to remember that Daryl was wearing that bow tie, that shirt, and his hair was styled that way. This is old. I know this is old. No, it's really just about keeping people up to date.
Yeah.
So many people that don't know who you are and what you do.
I was thinking about, and share, probably get your feedback on this. I was thinking about starting a new my first post hashtag or my first video hashtag, because a lot of us have content from years ago. And then if you ever get bored one day, start scrolling through your old content, look back and look back and look back. And I was thinking about starting a my first video hashtag or my first post hashtag.
We do that all the time.
Perfect.
We start, and granted, I mean, yes, I think everybody probably knows this, but we put out a lot of content and a lot of video and copy and text and, you know, different formats. It's not all me, obviously, and no one's a one-person show. You need help, but we have people that help us and edit and do all those things. But yeah, I always say, you know what? Dig back, go back,
Yeah.
start digging. Go to 18. There's probably some gems in there.
Yep.
That we forgot about, and then you find this shiny diamond all of a sudden. You're like, oh, look at this. That's amazing. We put it out one time. We never looked at it again. Yeah. Great suggestion.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Bonnie, for your time. We'll be mindful of your time and the audience. I know you got a million things to do besides talk to me. So share some information how they can find you.
I don't have anything else to do, Daryl. I'm taking a nap after this.
There you go. Hey, well, it's gloomy outside.
First, I'm going to eat all the grapes and the muffin. Then I'm going to take the nap.
And it's gloomy here in Georgia, gloomy there in New York. So a lot of people getting rain now. But
I could use a nap. I'm not taking one, but I could use one.
Well, I got a nice positive post tomorrow, so I got a video I got to drop in the morning to hopefully lighten people's mood. So we'll see how it goes.
Awesome. And we're going to be putting up a retail post later on this, you know, cup that I showed you. I've gotten some notes that we really haven't shown that in a while, and I look back through our content, and we really haven't. So I guess because we're not totally 100% ready. One last thought. Today, I thought that I was going to make a very exciting announcement. How Go Lids is going to give back and help restaurants. And I was pretty excited to make the announcement, but I've been told that not all the details are in place, and it would be irresponsible to share the message at this time. So stay tuned. I'm hoping that within the week or sooner that I'm going to be able to make an announcement on something that Go Lids is going to do that I'm pretty proud of, and that I think is going to really offer a nice helping hand to all the restaurants.
Awesome. So you know those restaurants, make sure you share Bonnie's profile with them. To any restaurants you know that can be in need of the product or just to see this news she's going to share. And then Cher had one last comment. She said, "I love the idea. It'll be a super fun campaign. I would participate. Launched on a Thursday. So hey, maybe this Thursday we could do a throw it all the way back Thursday campaign."
Yeah.
The very first post. I'm scared to see my very first post from 2010.
I saw mine. I got to tell you, I was terrified. I was mortified. From the editing to the coloring to, I don't know what, I was babbling. I don't know what was happening, but it was not good. You get better.
We'll try it on Thursday. I got a fun post for you tomorrow, so thank you for joining us on Business of Benefits. Catch us on Team Replay. Oh, thanks for doing it. I've enjoyed the conversation.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you, folks. You stay positive and wash your hands.